my freelancing career, I had the honor of working with the internationally renowned negotiation expert and best-selling author, Peter D. Johnston. And it was with Pete, as he liked to be called, that I learned one of my best lessons on pricing. When he asked me to send him a proposal to design and build 2 of his websites, you can imagine how nervous I was. Man, this guy is going to negotiate the heck out of me, and I'll stand no chance to get paid what I'm worth. So I drafted up a proposal and came up with a price I was happy to charge, and sent it to Pete. Not long after, I got a phone call from Pete. Uh-oh. Hey, Brad. How are you? It's Pete here. Listen, I got your proposal, and I had a couple questions. Hey, Pete. Thanks for getting in touch. Listen, I'm sorry if the price was too high. Then he stopped me mid-sentence, and what he said I'll never forget. Brad, don't ever apologize for your price, to me or anyone else. He continued. I'm looking to you for help, and you deserve to be paid the price you ask. As our conversation came to a close, he accepted the proposal with my original price, and then he said, all right, Brad, what do I owe you for this phone call? Sorry, what? Pardon me? You just gave me 30 minutes of your time. Surely you could have been working on something else, and it's unfair of me to expect free consultation from you. Send me your bill for the phone call and any other phone call we have in the future. What just happened? My friend, we all struggle with pricing, asking money from other people, and we worry that we're performing some sort of evil by sending an invoice. But if we're always apologizing for charging for our products and services, how much confidence do you think our customers and clients will have in us? Think about it this way. You're at the dentist to fix a bad tooth that's been giving you hell for the last few months. After finishing up her work, the dentist walks you over to the reception desk, hands you an invoice, and says, okay, well, I did my job, I guess, and I should ask you for some money, but I'm sorry, Brad, but here's the bill. I don't know about you, but I'd leave that dentist feeling like I made a big mistake in my mouth. Now, what about this scenario? You meet with your accountant to take care of some important business, set up your incorporation, and set up some installment plan to pay your corporate taxes for the year. After signing dozens of intimidating papers and realizing how stressful this would have been to take care of yourself, hire an accountant. Your accountant looks at you and says, well, I guess I should charge you for taking care of this work for you. Here's my bill. Maybe we could just do tradesies. Maybe you could just trade your services for mine. How would that work? He might as well have said, well, here goes nothing. Bring on the audit. Don't forget that you are solving somebody's problem and making their lives better in some way. The product or service you provide is valuable, at least it should be, and people expect to pay for it. So in this module, we're going to learn all about confidently pricing our products and services. We'll explore the pricing models available to us as freelancers and consultants, and we'll explore the pros and cons of positioning yourself as either a premium consultant or a budget-friendly solution. So, let's get started. All right. What do we think of that, folks? A little preview of Freelancing Freedom launch. That was the Module 5 introduction video. I had fun filming that one. Thanks for joining, everybody. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Make sure we're good to go, and then we'll get started. I want to say hi to everybody in here. After we kind of introduce, this is Office Hours Live. Welcome to our Thursday show, I guess you can call it, where we hang out with the Freelancing Freedom students and anyone who wants to come and join, learn a little bit about freelancing, consulting, starting a business, what it takes to start, launch, grow, and scale your consulting business so you can take care of your family and live a life that's more full of meaning and abundance and freedom. So that's what we do here on the Office Hours Live. We're going to hang out, chat, talk about that, and ideally help people out in their lives and in their business. So At any point, as usual, ask questions. We're gonna answer the questions as we go through, and yeah, we'll have a lot of fun. Today's theme is about stage 1 launching. We'll talk about that as we go a little bit into this. So I just want to say hi to everybody here. We got let me see, Alea. Hey, Alea. We got Rick from New York. Awesome. We got K4 IR0S from Ontario. How's it going? Hafsa Khan, good to see you here. Larry from Wisconsin, good to see you here. Monique. Let's see. Nightlight on. I keep forget whenever whenever you come in here and your YouTube username is Nightlight on, then I just always forget your name. So could you please refresh me on your name? Rebecca, good to see you here. Larry says he works during the day, so he has to do that first. Currently debugging, eating lunch. Awesome. Love Office Hours Live. Good to have you here, Larry. I appreciate that. James is here at work multitasking. I dig it. Rick is happy that it's at a different time because office hours used to be at 6 Eastern. Now it is at 2 Eastern. Cool. This is great. Awesome. What do you guys think about that intro of Module 5? Philippe says, great intro. Whoops. Sorry, Monique just gave me a little message and said, office hours, my little lower third banner bar here says 2 p.m. Eastern, 10. Typo on my part. Forget about that. I'll fix that for the next one. All right. What? Joseph is listening while mowing the lawn. Okay, I'm all over the place here. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit distracted. We got a great crew in here. We got a lot of people watching. I love it. Oh, I love seeing more and more people come to these. Makes me nervous. What? Okay. So, Module 5, that was just a little teaser. Anyone who's in the launch course, that's going to be released to you this week. We have a whole set of new lessons on pricing and positioning and everything that goes with that. We have some really awesome material, workbooks, and training in that. If you're not at launch, check out the demo at freelancingfreedom.com/launch. There's a free demo, all the information you get there. Once you sign up, you get a couple free gifts to help you get started. That link is in the description below. Nightlight on. Lori, that's it. Yes, Lori. My apologies for forgetting your name. Great. Okay. So today, my friends, we're going to be talking about stage 1 launching. So in our last office hours last week, we kind of did an overview of the 3 stages. So at freelancingfreedom.com, we kind of adopted, or we're approaching helping people with the idea that there are 3 stages to freelancing freedom. Now think of freelancing freedom as the milestone marker that you experience in your client-based business. There are multiple milestone markers, and we call that freelancing freedom. So think about when you're just starting out. You get that, that aha moment where you go, oh man, I can start my own business. And that would be so great if I can get some clients. Just imagine how great, and you got bit by the freelancing bug, by the, entrepreneur bug. You think about that. That's freelancing freedom. That moment where you kind of wake up. And now another element of that would be, let's say, when you get your first client. Who here knows this feeling? You get your first client, $500, $1,000, $100, doesn't matter what it is. Could have been you trade your services for massage. You get that first client. That feeling. Do you remember that feeling? Let me know in chat there. Give me a thumbs up, give me an amen, give me a heck yeah, whatever, to let me know if you know that feeling. That is what we call freelancing freedom. At least that's what I like to call it. Now, you can also get this feeling once you go full time. Once you, at every stage of that, I'm leveling up, that's a new level of freelancing freedom. And so there are 3 primary stages of this freelancing freedom. And those stages are getting started. This is what we talked about last week. Getting started, so launching. That's stage 1. And it's a big stage. We're going to talk about it today. Stage 2 is systemizing and creating a more standardized business that operates like a real business, not like some bootstrapped, thrown together business. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to be bootstrapping. We're going to talk about that. And then stage 3 is refining it into and productizing and creating something with multiple offers, an established marketing system, consistency, a whole different level. So those are the 3 stages. And so last week we did an overview of what those stages were. So if you haven't seen that, if you're in launch, all these office hours are recorded and added to your account in your freelancingfreedom.com account. Otherwise, if you're subscribed on YouTube, subscribe and hit the little notification bell, do the thumbs up, do all the things you're supposed to do. And there's a playlist there called Office Hours Live, and you could check those out. Okay, let me see. We got a couple comments here of people letting us know about that first client. Let's see. Hafsa Khan got his first client today. Amazing. That's awesome. Congratulations on your first client. I love that. And he was introduced to that feeling. Yes, awesome. Love it. Yes, that's a feeling. That feeling is just getting your first paid client. It's amazing. Okay, so today we're going to jump in and talk about that first stage. We're going to go further into it and what it involves, some myths about it. And we're going to jam on that. So I got a little kind of a presentation, not really a presentation. I just got a couple slides here that I'm going to use as kind of talking points, and we can go off script. We can do all that stuff. If you have any questions at any point about launching and getting started, add them to the chat. Alea's going to throw them up on my dynamic little Trello board here. And then I'm going to see your questions and I'll answer them. Okay. And at any point in the description below, go to freelancingfreedom.com/launch. And that will get you 3 things, 3 free things. A demo of launch. So you get a full behind the scenes of what's going on. What is this launch thing Brad keeps talking about? The second thing is a pricing calculator for consultants. It's an amazing tool. Probably people in here who have used it already can see the value in it. Give me a thumbs up if that's the case. And then the third thing is the revenue roadmap. Better yet, I've combined the revenue roadmap and the pricing calculator into like a course that I will deliver to you. So you sign up, get the demo. You'll also get that course added to your dashboard on your Freelancing Freedom account. So you automatically get that added to your account. And it's got the revenue roadmap, pricing calculator. I queued up a couple workshops in there from a couple of these office hours lives about pricing and business models and such. That's added to your account. And walk through. It's great. Before I just said, go off and get a Google sheet and go off and get like a Typeform roadmap thing. Now I've put it together in something more substantial, even more valuable. So get that in the link below. Okay. So let me see if I can flip my screen here. And we'll kind of get started on this little bit of a presentation. Oh, where's my screen? Hold up. All right. Do we see that? We good? Let me just make that bigger so you can see it. Cool. That looks good. Okay. Let's do this. So stage 1 is about launching your freelance business. All right. Now, what is stage 1? What's involved in stage 1? How do you know you're in stage 1? A lot of people think that stage 1 is like, oh, you're a cute little beginner. Oh, you don't have any clients. I'm actually in stage 2 because I have a client. Or I've heard this before. People say they're in stage 2 because if you can recall, launch, systemize, productize. Those are the 3 stages that encompass Freelancing Freedom methodology. A lot of people think that, stage 1, no, that's like the ABCs, that's the 101s, that's the beginner stuff. No, that's the biggest, hardest stage where most people don't get past that stage. You can be full-time in stage 1. You can be earning $5,000, $10,000 a month in stage 1. It's not income related. It's actually nothing to do with that at all. The income is just a reflection of what you're doing in that stage. Stage 1 is you're kind of bootstrapping everything. You're all solo. We'll get into that. Okay. So let's go to that screen. What is stage 1 freelancing? Well, stage 1 freelancing is, you can see here. This is why I wanted to put these 2 things. We got the beginner and the established freelancer. So I kind of said here, $0 to $1,000 a month is kind of that beginner stage. Again, it's kind of income agnostic. income agnostic. That's hard to say. Income agnostic. So it's not really determined by your income, but a little bit of a milestone you can kind of see this is kind of where you're at. And then the established freelancer, $1,000 a month and up. And I put and up because you could be making a full-time income in stage one. Stage one is more about what you're doing and how you're freelancing and consulting and running your business versus how much money you're making. Okay. There we go. So the beginner, you're starting from scratch. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you are in what stage you're in based on what I'm telling you about here. So let me know where you are at in the live chat. Beginners starting from scratch, no clients at all, no experience, bootstrapping a side hustle. You're a solo freelancer. You're manually doing everything. It's literally like one day you're at work and you go, I really hate this. I wish I could be home with my wife. Or I wish I could see my children more. Or, man, I get paid nothing for what I do at this job. And I don't even like it. I wish I could run my own thing. That person, my friend, is in stage one. If they say, I wanted to start my own thing. I don't know what it's going to take or what it is, but I want to run my own business. I'm going to get my own clients. I want some semblance of flexibility and freedom in my life. And this ain't it. Okay. So that's what stage one is. That's that beginner person in stage one. So you have no clients, you're starting from scratch, and that beginner stage actually encompasses a pretty wide timeline, a pretty big timeline. So, you could have some clients, maybe you're a beginner, but not quite established. There's a spectrum here of what you could be within in stage one. Sorry, I'm just seeing a comment there. I don't know how. Sapphire loves PJ. You're saying, is the live quality stream bad? Can you see it? Can you hear me? Can you see the screen? I hope you can. If not, check out the replay at the end, I suppose. So that's the beginner stage. You're starting from scratch, no clients, you're bootstrapping, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get a client. I told a friend about it, that sort of stuff. That's the beginner. The established freelancer in stage one, this is where, you have some clients. Like somebody in here says, Rebecca says, I'm in stage one. I have a couple of 2 low paid pricing projects. Perfect. Beginner here, Joseph. I have really good lead for my first client. So you have some clients, you have some experience selling your services, a little more confident in your abilities and your skills. Let's see, you have a profitable side hustle perhaps, and you are burning the candle at both ends. So if you don't know what that phrase is, I was first introduced to that when I was working full-time in an agency and basically working full-time as a freelancer when I finished work. And I remember my boss was like, man, you're burning the candle at both ends. And I was like, what's that? I don't know what that means. He's like, you're like doing this 8-9 hours a day, and then you're going home and just like hustling hard 8-9 hours a night freelancing. Dude, pick one. More or less what he said. I don't think he necessarily said pick one because of course he wanted me to stay working for him versus quitting, which is what I ended up doing. Anyway, but that's burning the candle at both ends. Manually doing everything. This is a big signal for what stage one. You could be crushing it income wise and you got clients, but you are manually doing everything. You have no consistency. If I were to ask you how much, how many clients do you have and how much are you earning a month from your consulting business? You could be like, yeah, I'm making $5,000 a month, or at least this month I've got about $5,000 in billings, and next month, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I'm sending invoices manually. I'm manually following up with people. I'm manually phone calling people. I'm manually emailing. I'm just manually posting things on Facebook, and I'm manually, you're literally doing everything yourself. You have no systemization, no standard operating procedures. If you were to just fall off the face of the planet tomorrow and you had a partner or a spouse or a child who could run your business, who you think maybe could run your business, they go, I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing. There's no order to this. I don't even know how to log into their accounts. I don't even know what they did or how they did it or what's going on. So this might as well just be garbaged. So no marketing strategy, a lot of word of mouth and referrals. That's the marketing strategy. And that's good. Word of mouth and referrals are some of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, ways to close clients. When you have a good reputation and someone says, hire that person, they're amazing, that basically sells itself. So that's good. It's not a bad thing. But if that's the only way you're getting clients and you're just hoping that you're going to get word of mouth and referrals, it's not really that sustainable. Established corporations and established consultancies and agencies don't do that. So that's another element of stage one. You want to go full time. This is another one. How you know you're in stage one. You want to go full time, but you're not confident that it's going to work. You're like, yeah, I don't have enough money to do it. It's not enough income. I don't know what my income and my billings and my revenue is going to be next month. So yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay, that's one. Or you are full time, but you're struggling because you don't know where the income's coming from next month, or you're working really hard and you go, I thought I started my business so I can have flexibility, and I'm working all day and thinking about my business all day, and it sucks. I just wish I just had someone giving me a paycheck and I could just check in, check out, and just be with my kids a few hours a day. Good enough. Okay. Some comments, going into some comments here. Dale says, I had a few freelance word of mouth clients in the past. Okay, cool. Probably striking a nerve here with what I'm talking about, Dale. Lori says, my husband usually ran across people in his work that needed my help. Great. When you have a partner, a spouse, a husband or a wife, someone who's like a vocal ambassador, evangelizer for your business, that's always nice. I know my wife got me my first client. So let's see. Digital Ankit says, I'm struggling with choosing a good brand name for web development businesses. Ooh, Alea, can you put Digital Ankit's comment in the Trello board there? I want to address it after. Let's see. Earlier this year, Lori says, I priced a job close to what I should have, but the client wouldn't do it. Oh, well, wrong client, I guess. Absolutamente. Yes, that's not every client is a good client. Even if they sound interested in you, if they're not willing to pay, then it's not worth your time. Okay? Like if you're positioning yourself as a low budget freelancer, or people think you're a low budget freelancer, and you're commoditizing yourself and you're putting yourself in that position, then you're going to run across the problem and the challenge of you need a volume of clients. So let's say you want to make, let's say you start out, you want to say $50,000 a year. It's a pretty low amount in the Western countries. But, for me, that was like, yeah, if I can make $40,000 to $50,000 when I started, then I'll know that what I'm doing is working. And then we'll think about improving the financial situation. So I did that the first year, and then you start going into, okay, how do I make this better? So if you want to make $50,000 a year, let's do some basic, grade 1 math here, and you're only getting $500 clients, that's 100 clients every year. Can you imagine trying to close 100 new clients every single year? That sounds like hell. It sounds like freelancing hell. It doesn't sound very nice. Now, if you say your average invoice value was $3,000, now you only have to close 15 to 17 new clients a year. A year. I don't know about you, but getting 15 to 17 clients a year, that's way easier than 100 or 150 or whatever. So your positioning needs to be at a place where it's easy enough for you to find, attract, and close clients, right? But just hard enough where like the pricing needs to be high enough where you're going to be able to deliver on that promise and deliver that solution, and also find the right people. So there's less volume, but the challenge for you at the higher price point and better premium positioning is to then find those people. Okay, it can be done. That's what positioning, niching down is about. We're going to get into that in a moment here. The challenge with low budget, low price, commoditized, the commodity consultant is now you need the volume of people. How are you going to get a volume of people? You actually need to, that can be a legitimate business model. Think Udemy, think Walmart, think of low priced, super budget corporations and businesses that sell really, really low priced items or services or products. They're actually really big and they've got massive budgets. So if you're buying something that only costs an average of $10 or $50, they're actually large companies with big marketing budgets who can afford to position themselves as a budget. If you're a small guy, a small gal, trying to position yourself as a budget option, you're going to get eaten up. Easy, no problem. There's a bigger corporation or somebody in a different part of the world who has a lower cost of living than you who will cut your prices in half. So there you go. You're done. Toast. So get out of that pool. You need to be actually a high value premium consultant. And if you can book a client with an average income or revenue from that invoice of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 minimum, that's where you should be. The challenge is then finding those people. Okay. It's not impossible. It's actually relatively easy. Oh man. Okay. So let's see here. Aaron says, I made it. Wow. Doing this early now. Yes, Aaron, we're doing it earlier now because on Thursdays I do daddy time in the afternoon. I take the afternoons off to not work and to be with my kids and to relieve my wife of her, parental duties and, kind of trade, kind of tap out, tag team. We switch. So that's why Thursday afternoons are my time with the kids. So take it or leave it, folks. Office Hours Live is Thursday at 11 Mountain Time, depending on the daylight savings time, which we learned earlier in the Slack workspace. Anyway, we won't get into that. Let's see here. Some more comments, and I'll get back on track. Monique says, yeah, I'm working on the systemization stuff now. Cool. I'd love to hear that. Muniza says, let us know if we're based in countries, low prices, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka. Okay. Great question. I obviously know that that's going to come up. You got, people who live in countries specifically like Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, different African countries and, places in India. That's, websites like Fiverr and Upwork were created to connect freelancers in those geographic locations with the rest of the world. Obviously, I don't live in those areas, so I couldn't tell you from experience how to succeed at a local level, how to connect with people at that level. So I know it's more of a volume-based thing, and it's this unfair challenge that you're faced with. But it's not impossible, especially if you can book yourself. If you live in those countries and the cost of living is lower, of course, but the income and the average household income is really low as well. But if you can build a solid business and establish yourself as valuable to somebody who has a higher household income or higher revenue, higher cost of living in the Western country, in the United States, somewhere in the UK, Canada, places like this, and they're paying you, $1,000, $2,000 for your solutions, that's going to go a lot further. $1,000 for me, that's not going to get me very far. $1,000 for somebody in India, it's going to get them very far. So everybody is presented with unique challenges. It's what you do with those challenges and how you rise above that that really matters. Let's see here. Some more questions here. Rebecca says, finding those people who are comfortable paying $3,000. I've been occasionally successful with charging $1,500 for a project. Yes, Rebecca. Those clients are out there. And I remember being surprised when I was in that $500 to $1,000 range, and then thought, man, this is a lot of work to make $3,000 a month or something like that. That's a lot of work. 3 clients at $1,000. It's still pretty challenging chasing that work down. But then when you get one $3,000 client, you're like, whoa, covering my basic necessities with one client. That's amazing. And those clients are no different than the $1,000 clients. If anything, they're actually way easier. That $0 to $1,000 client mark, they're actually difficult to work with because those are people who think that $1,000 is a lot of money. It is a lot of money, of course, but when it comes to your business and marketing your business and growing your business, if someone's not willing to pay $1,000 to improve their business or don't know how to use $1,000 as an investment in their business, that's a stressful person to work with. And those clients are reserved for people who are like just starting out, the very beginning of stage one, okay? But you want to quickly get yourself to that $2,000 to $3,000 client mark pretty quickly, because those people go, $2,000 is a lot of money. But that person knows that when they invest $2,000 in their business, it's actually going to come out as at least $2,000 or more on the other end. So they have an understanding of return on investment and they see you as a valuable person. So for you, it's establishing your foundations and the groundwork and getting yourself to that position and being in front of those people. So growing your network, and it takes a little bit of time, but it's just a matter of you doing the right things, positioning yourself, and growing your reputation and network. And then also marketing, which we'll get into in the launch course. Okay. Great. We got some more questions coming in. I love this. Monique says that category of 0 to 1,000, they often want to nickel and dime everything. They can be a headache. Sometimes you have to say no, and that can be hard, but you have to think of it that way sometimes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Those $0 to $1,000 clients are the ones who are trying to penny pinch. They don't see value. They go, $1,000 is so much money. Give me the world and a bouquet of flowers on top of it. Thank you very much. Pamper me, because all of this money is so much that you owe me everything. Someone who's going to pay $2,000, they don't even think about it. They go, yeah, how much? And you go, it's going to be about $2,800 this timeline. And they go, great, perfect. Can we get it done a little bit quicker? What can I do to speed it up? How much do you want right away? Do you want the full amount? Do you want a 50%? Those people, they mean business, okay? And it only gets progressively more. When you get in that $10,000 client range, yeah, that person's not nickel and diming. Anyone who's willing to fork over $10,000 for something knows the value, because that's an insanely large amount of money. But the person who is willing to do that they know the value of what you're doing. So those people are out there, and it's not trying to take the $0 to $1,000 client, like the 101 client, the baby client, the stage one, like introductory client. You're not trying to take them and convince them to give you 10 times the amount that they're willing to. It's just getting yourself out of that pool altogether and getting yourself in front of the person who is in that 3,000, 2,000 and up stage. Okay. Aaron says clients that know their business is worth knows that a $1,000 investment is a no-brainer. Yeah, absolutely. If you know your business is worth and the value of what you can do, with leveraging somebody else's help. That's what they're doing. They're trying to leverage somebody else's expertise, experience, knowledge, network, ability, time, manpower. You don't just pay $1,000, without knowing what you're going to get in return, what the value is. So they're going, I'm not good at SEO. I'm not good at marketing. I'm not good at understanding how to hire and fire clients. I'm not good at, whatever it is that person is. How much is it for you to do that? Because it takes me 10 hours and a big headache and I hate it. Oh, it's $5,000? Sweet. Because the amount of time that I spend doing what you do, but in a garbage way, costs me way more than $5,000 in time and opportunity cost and stress. Yep. Okay. Do you get it? Okay. And yes, Alea says, this is why my 0 to 1,000, I am productizing. This is great. This is the methodology of Freelancing Freedom stage 1, 2, and 3. The stage 3 is about productizing. Once we get to that stage, you still want those like low clients, the people who aren't ready, who are like kind of warm to you, but they are not ready to pay your premium prices. You can offer them something in an automated fashion, and your service delivery is automated through a productized model. And, you can pay them, you can charge them anywhere from, $0 to $1,000 automatically, while you validate them as customers and take them through a journey so that they can hire you at your $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 fee. Aaron says, I usually tell my $0 to $700 clients that I'm not a cost-effective solution for them. Yeah, and that's a completely respectable option. Now, Aaron, this is where it gets beautiful. You can turn those people away. You can refer them to a friend, or a colleague. Great. The third option is you can have a lower introductory product, whether that is something that's systemized, that a virtual assistant, staff member, or person on your team, maybe a spouse, manages that project, that account, and you have a profit margin on top of that, or you have an introductory product, a retainer, a course, like a book, an ebook, something like that, something that you can say, yeah, it's working with me directly is not the cost-effective way. Here's an alternative. Here are 3 alternative options. Buy my product that trains you on how to do it yourself, contact this person, or, check out this website. Give them some baby steps to take. Okay, so let's jump into the next screen here. So this is the way that most people do it. Let's move my face out of the way here. This is the way that most people do it. When they start out their freelance business, they'll say, okay, so this is kind of the flow. I want to start my own business. I'm sitting there at my job and I go, I don't like this. This sucks. I want more time with my family. I want more time with my spouse, my kids. And they were bitten by the bug, the freelancing bug, the bug of, the freedom bug. And they open their eyes to a new possibility. Great. You're supposed to have that aha moment. It's a mindset shift. But then what happens is they go, yeah, this is called the entrepreneur. I got a great idea for a business. So I'm going to build a really great website. I'm going to spend a lot of time building a website. It's going to be such a beautiful website, and web developers and web designers are the worst for this. If you're not a web designer and web developer, you don't have the ability to build it yourself, so you're at least exempt from this a little bit, but then you'll go hunting for somebody to build it for you. And then you don't have the budget for it, so you end up spending too much time learning how to do it. It's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. So you spend a long time building your website, and all that is your way of saying, I'm afraid of doing this, so I'm going to hide behind my code or my design or my business idea for as long as possible until something happens. Okay, so, and then the third thing is you quietly tell some friends about your business idea because you're not confident in it. You're a little bit nervous about it. You don't really trust yourself. You don't want to be judged. You don't want to feel, insufficient or inadequate. You don't feel good enough, all that sort of stuff. All mindset issues. All the clutter in your brain that you haven't cleared out and fixed. So you go, hey, yeah, I'm starting up a thing. Someone's like, hey, man, heard you're starting a business. Good for you. How cute. And you're like, yeah, it's just like early stages. I'm kind of building my site right now. I'm kind of playing the field, thinking about some stuff, but you can check out my website, but don't share it yet. I'm not ready to launch. It's not live yet. It's still coming soon page. You know what I mean? You can like me on Facebook, check out my Instagram, something like that. And then the fourth step here is you maybe get lucky and you book a client for free or way too cheap. Now, inevitably, you want to get clients, so you reluctantly tell somebody, or you reluctantly pitch your service to somebody. You feel so weird. You feel so sleazy. You feel so uncomfortable. Yeah, I start a business and it's going to cost some money. Why don't you just contact me? Hire me, please. Something like that. I'm not judging you. This is what I did. What I see a lot. I'm saying this in jest because it's so many people experience this. I'm not doing this to judge or make fun of anybody. I'm really just making fun of myself because the way I started out was not ideal. If I were to go back in time, I'd actually let Brad suffer through that because it's what Brad got Brad to where he is today. But in an alternative universe, if that's a real thing, I would have done it differently, which is I get to live through that by teaching you guys how to do it better than how I did it, to make it easier, to make it better. So you can actually not get lucky and then figure it out by trial and error. You can actually just do it right. Okay. Welcome to Office Hours Live and Freelancing Freedom, folks. That's what it's all about. Okay, so you get lucky. And then next, you got some clients, but now you're hoping for clients and you're sitting around and waiting. You actually have no marketing strategy, no system, no effective model, that will actually works. You're just hoping that your reputation will spread. and other people will contact you. Listen, even if you have a great reputation and you deliver your services amazing and you're so talented and you're the best and everybody is envious of your talents and abilities and confidence, people still don't tell their friends and colleagues because they're busy. So you have to actually encourage that and actually have to have a system in place that encourages referrals and grows your network and exponentially increases your reach. You actually have to do that, okay? Not wait and hope for that, okay? And listen, I'm a praying man, and you can do that, but you actually have to do the work, okay? You actually have to. You can hope and pray for some clients, sure. But it's your responsibility to go and do something about it, okay? Take the steps. And then 6, you get discouraged, you give up, and you go back to the way things were. So after about 6 months, a year, 2 years of kind of doing this on the side a little bit, where no one's really sure what you're doing, you're like, yeah, you know what? The business didn't work out. Just wasn't the right time. And then you just kind of go, yeah, $500 every now and then is not really a legitimate source of revenue. So I'm going to go back to my job. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go back to the way things were. Okay. Aaron says, I'm working on a pre-built branding solution that can be customized almost like stock, higher quality and in-depth. Cool. Rick says Wix is a monthly. Oh, we're having a discussion. Let me jump in on the discussion here. Aaron says, I'm learning that most business owners are just starting out, don't have the budget for my services, but are wanting a for now solution. Yes. Positioning. I hear that, or DIY a lot, says Lori. DIY is probably not my client at all at that point. Yes. Monique, I hear that and don't understand that it is an investment for web work. I've heard that Wix is not as expensive as you, makes it problematic. Yes, we're talking about positioning here, folks. If you are positioned, if you're in the wrong position, then you're going to be going against the grain. People who don't understand your value. Let's see. Rick says, Wix is a monthly fee and they don't own the site. If they decide they want something better, your designer will have to start over. And I believe Wix keeps your URL. Yeah, it makes a big problem. But it also creates an opportunity for you to show why it's not a good choice, but also be transparent and show why it is a good choice. So for me, or for in your business, what I would encourage you to do is be transparent and go, here's your option. Here's why Wix would be a great option for you and why you should do that. If you're this person, you probably should do that. That said, if you don't like X, Y, and Z, you should probably look at this. Here's why that's a good idea. And here's why I fit in that picture. If you want to talk about this, here's my link to give me a call, book a time that works for you. And then after that, if you want to work with me, great. Here are my fees. Or you don't tell them the fees at all. You say, great, here's how you work with me. Check out my latest blog post. Here's my video or my ebook or my email course on how to solve X, Y, and Z by yourself. And if you want to book a call after that, boom, here you go. System. Okay. So this is the way that most people do it. Now this is the better way right here. And you can see it's a lot different. Look at this. This is just kind of like wishy-washy, hoping for the best, getting lucky and getting discouraged and, flip-flopping around. This is different. You start by building a foundation, figuring yourself out, establishing a vision, defining goals, and stop lying to yourself. Stop telling yourself you're not good enough. Stop telling yourself you can't do it. Stop believing your colleague at work who's never started a business, who says things like, you shouldn't start a business, dude, because most businesses fail and, you can't do it. You don't have the abilities. Or maybe like you have a family member or somebody, that, caught wind of you wanting to start a business and they go, yeah, you should have more experience, or you should get an MBA, or you should do this or do that before you actually start a business. I know a guy who can actually set up your LLC. We should start with that in about 3 to 5 years. So all this is just garbage. When it comes to freelancing and consulting, you can start today. You can start today and get your first client by the end of this week and be in business by Monday next week. It's as simple as that. Just like that. Not saying it's going to be the best business ever or it's going to succeed. There's a lot that comes after that, but you got to stop lying to yourself. Stop listening to people who are giving you advice that aren't in the position to give you advice. Stop telling yourself that you suck, you're not good enough, and all this nonsense and all this garbage. You're actually an amazing person. You were created for something super great. You have talents and abilities that nobody else has. And even if you're just kind of like an ordinary person, like pretty much everybody has a unique personality and a unique offer to this world, and it's your job to do something about it. Okay, so stop lying to yourself. Figure yourself out. Everybody's got problems. All the things that we have going on, all of our insecurities, and maybe you have lifestyle choices that are not ideal or damaging. All this stuff in your personal life, all the clutter and all the nonsense. Maybe you're addicted to your phone. Maybe you're addicted to something else, and you have certain issues. Figure those things out. Get help from them. Get help with them. Work on bettering yourself. Find a great foundation in your personal life, because your business life is going to be affected by that. It's not separate. You don't have this whole like work-life balance where like work is one thing and personal life is the other thing. No, you're one person, and you just happen to also have a personal life and or personal aspect of your life and a business aspect of your life. It's all the same thing. If you're a messed up person, you're going to have a messed up business. If you have issues at home, you're going to have issues in your business. If you struggle with, time management at home, and then you're going to struggle with time management in your business. It's all connected. It's all the same thing. You're not like this, one person at home and a different person at business. You're the same person, okay? Especially if you're a consultant freelancer and your business is your face and your own personal abilities. So figure your stuff out, okay? Build the foundation. Then you need to establish a vision. You need to figure out, what's the point? What am I doing this for? What do I have to offer? Where do I see myself in 2, 5, 10 years? Okay. Define some goals, create some amazing goals that you're inspired to work towards, and then reverse engineer the heck out of them. And this is where it goes into step number 2, create success systems. Stop multitasking, build on your strengths, walk towards success. Don't wait for it. You walk toward it. Time is going to pass anyway. The days are going to pass anyway. So why not walk towards something that is better for your spirit, better for your family, better for your life, better for your finances, and better for your greater community? Why not walk towards that anyway? The time's going to pass, so move toward it. Do the work, okay? Create success systems to actually get toward it. Schedule it. Block time off. Stop thinking that doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this all at the same time with a million social media profiles and scrolling through Facebook endlessly and doing this and scheduling that and meeting that person. Like, all that stuff's just muddling up the point. Be specific, be focused, and exclude everything else. Create a success system. And this is something that we talk about in the course. How do you establish a success system? How do you schedule it? How do you set yourself up for success automatically in your own life? Okay. Now 3, the formula for business. It always shocks me at how much people don't understand this. And I didn't understand this. You're always like, okay, it's traffic. It's a lot of traffic, right? That's how you get a successful business. Or it's getting the right shop on the right street that has a lot of foot traffic. Or it's a really beautiful brand. It's a great logo. I want to look really professional. And then people are just going to flock to me and I'm going to be a millionaire in no time. It doesn't work that way. It's a basic formula, which is this. You need a niche, you need to have a market problem, and you need to have a solution to that market problem. Those things are all connected. You can have them separately and your business is going to fall apart and fail, because if you have one niche and you have a problem that has nothing to do with that niche and a solution that has nothing to do with that problem, you're going to fail, okay? You need a niche. So who are you serving? What is the market? What people are they? Who are they? Where are they? What do they do? Okay, that's like an audience. Another word for it, I guess you could use, target audience. And then you have a market problem. So what is that target audience? What is that niche? What does that group of people struggle with? What hurts them the most? What keeps them back from succeeding in whatever their thing is, okay? And then your solution. What's your solution? How can you best solve that problem? At the intersection of all 3 of those is the successful formula for business, okay? Now, you can have varying levels of viability. You can solve a problem for a type of person, but if that problem is not very painful, then you're not going to have a really high value solution. But if that problem is incredibly painful, then your solution is going to cost more money because it's harder to produce and it's more valuable to deliver. Okay. Now you need to create a minimum viable solution. So this is where it's not about the website. It's not about coming up with an amazing service and give me time to work on it or build the thing or create the thing or map it out or write it. Nope. You should be able to, by the end of today, send a message. This is your minimum viable solution. You send a message to someone who is in that target audience who might struggle with the problem you think they do. And you say, hey, starting up my business, this is what I'm offering. I'm booking my foundational clients. What do you say? 3 sentences. That's your minimum viable solution. They say yes. They transfer you some cash or whatever your trade is, and you get to work. Boom. You're in business. You have your minimum viable solution. You solve their problem. That's what consulting is. That's what freelancing is. That's what client-based work is. If you're a landscaping company, go knock on your next door neighbor. Go, boom, I'm in business. Your lawn looks a little raggedy. I'd like to fix it. Boom. Client. Like that. Minimum viable solution. Then you iterate from that. So number 6 is you don't need a website, you need sales. So stop thinking you need a website, you need a fancy offer, you need a fancy logo, you need fancy anything like that. All you need is sales. To be in business, the person who says, I have a business and all they have is a website, and then there's another person who says, I have a business and they don't have a website, but they have a client who pays them $1,000 a month. Who's in business? The person who actually makes sales. So once you get that going, reinvest those profits, the revenue from your client work, and back into your marketing. Then you can have a great website. Then you can have a paid ad strategy. Then you can hire a brand designer and market things and all that sort of stuff. Number 7 is master your service delivery until it's a science. This is why I say start with service. Don't do that nonsense that you hear on the ads and stuff nowadays where they say, just like create an amazing online course about your passions and then you'll get super rich and go, live your digital nomad lifestyle. It's all nonsense. There's some truth to it because yes, you can make money with online courses, but if you don't know what your online course is and you don't have clients and you don't have a foundation, you don't have any of the things that we're talking about, then why would you build something to solve? You're only serving yourself, not an actual market problem. Okay. So master your service delivery, master the one-to-one, master your communication, master the flow of how it all works, become the master of that system you're creating until it's a science. Then you standardize it, you systemize it, and you automate it, or at least portions of it. You eliminate, delegate, automate. You get someone to help you with it, you get software to help you with it, and you eliminate the crud that has found its way in. You get rid of the weeds. And number 8, you begin systemizing your marketing, service delivery, and growth. So this is where you start going into, I'm a stage 2 freelancer now. This is stage 2 freelancing freedom. So that's the better way. That's stage 1. If you haven't checked those off, then you're not quite in stage 2. Okay? This is what it's all about in stage 1. Okay, so a little bit of chatting here in the window, and then I'm going to give you a little call to action. There's a couple questions there. If I haven't already answered them, I'll answer them, and then I'll send you off with a little something, and then we'll be good to go. So Aaron says, I'm working with a developer and creating a plug-and-play solution, and selling it under the preconceived notion that it's a starter site. Okay, cool. Sounds like a previous conversation. Good to go. James says, I'm absorbing all the advice, but I have to find the time. Billy says, hey, everyone had to jump out, so I'm going to watch the replay. Awesome. Enjoy, Billy. Let's see. Alea, Aaron, I built a system so great that I don't have to build the sites. The clients pick from a catalog. The sections are pre-built. Turn around is great. Tweaking daily. Love it. That's the entrepreneur approach versus the manual churning it out nonsense that I want you guys to get out of eventually. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to give you basically so we got the way most people do it and then the better way. And then the obvious next step here is I want you to check out the free demo of Launch. If you're not in Launch, check it out. There's the demo. freelancingfreedom.com/launch. You get a free gift. You get of course the demo, total behind the scenes of what's going on. So you can do your due diligence and understand if it is for you or not. Secondly, you get the revenue roadmap and consulting pricing calculator for consultants. Plus, that's bundled in a course where you get a couple workshops, a couple 1-hour workshops, a 30-minute walkthrough of the tools. And it's an incredible value for free. I put that together for you. All you got to do is go to that link right there and get to work on establishing that stage one. And this is what launch is all about. There's a lot of people here who are actually currently in launch, and they could probably speak for themselves. But this better way is exactly what launch is built around. This is an overview of what your of the modules and the training structure in launch is all about. So I want you to get yourself to a stage that looks more like this. Okay. So I want you to take me up on this right here, freelancingfreedom.com/launch. It's free. You get the demo and the tools. Okay. Now I'm going to switch here. There's a couple questions, and then we're going to close up shop here and enjoy our Thursday. Jarek says, how do you get my first client? I hope that so far the training here, the Office Hours Live, has given you some ideas. But your first client, honestly, Jarek, is in your network. It's in your immediate connections. That's where your first client is. They're an email away. They're a Facebook post away. They are, a tweet away. They are wherever you hang out, wherever your immediate network is, your connections. They are one conversation away. It's not a website away, a marketing strategy away. You simply start by connecting with a person. You find the person who's probably struggling with the thing that you want to solve. You offer that to them. That's where client number one is. It's as simple as that. Now, that's not how you get all your clients, but that's where your first client is. And that is a great way it's a confidence booster. It's a validator. And then you got to get work on client two. And then you got to start systemizing, scaling, and expanding from there. And that's what launch is about. So Jarek, if you're curious about how to get that first client and you want to make that work, in launch, we get you your first client and beyond. Okay. That's what it's all about. I didn't create a course just about information. I actually want you to succeed. And the way that I know that I'm succeeding is by getting you an actual business and clients. So check out launch. We got Muniz says, do US based people outsource work to South Asians? Yes. The answer to that is yes. That's why Upwork, Fiverr, all these sites are created, is to connect people in parts of the world where freelancers are, for lack of a better term, dime a dozen, where the cost of living is lower and the prices are lower. It's more commoditized, but it does provide an opportunity. I personally know some Indian freelancers who are doing very well on Upwork and Fiverr and such. So it is a viable option for people in parts of the world where that is the primary idea, but I'm not a big fan of its viability for most consultants. And Digital Onkit says, I'm struggling with choosing a good brand name for web development business. The brand name doesn't matter. What matters is sales, okay? Get a client first. Doesn't matter about the name. I hope I addressed this in this Office Hours Live today. It's not about your name. It's not about your branding. It's not about your website. It's about your solution to a problem. So what needs to exist? A website and branding, or the trio that I told you about? The target audience, a market problem, and a solution to that problem. You need that to exist before a website. That's more important. So those are the 3 questions that I got in the Trello board and all the questions that we had here in the chat. That's amazing. Monique says the launch course is a great investment, tremendous value. Great. This is awesome. Cool. Okay. Let me switch my screen back to my face, and then we will wrap this up. Cool. There it was, folks. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. We're going to wrap this up here because it's noontime, lunchtime, and we closed up the hour here. I want to keep these shows to an hour or less to be respectful of your time. I appreciate everybody coming, spending the time here. We had a whole bunch of people watching live. I really appreciate your time. I know that you could be spending your time elsewhere, whether at work, with your family, with your kids, doing something that's important to you, building your business. But I always want to make sure that this weekly show that we do is valuable to you and is a worthwhile investment of your time. I hope it was. And my call to action for you today is to get that demo and the pricing calculator and revenue roadmap at freelancingfreedom.com/launch. Yes, there is an offer at the end of that. Yes, I pitch a course to you at the end of that, of course, but I'm doing that so that I can better your life and we can have a win-win scenario. You win because you get a business and you get to actually level up and do something with your skills and your abilities today and create a more meaningful professional and personal life. And I win because I get to see you succeed, and I'm rewarded monetarily for that, only if you get the results that I'm telling you you should get. So check that link out, freelancingfreedom.com/launch. I will see you guys next Thursday. We're going to go into stage 2, systemizing your freelance business and what that's all about. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that. Bring your questions, bring your ideas, bring your thoughts, and I'll see y'all in the launch course should you decide it is for you. Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome weekend. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye now. This is where I have to find the end screen.